Please welcome Isabelita Virtual, Creative Director.
Hola. Hola. Hello, thank you for being here. I'm Isabel, also known as Isabelita Virtual. And I named my talk beta version because basically because it's going to be about imperfection. So it's not going to be the perfect one. Probably it's going to be the most imperfect talk of the day, and with an imperfect English as well. So everything's going to be imperfect. But also named this talk beta version, lower the expectations, your expectations. And it's because my practice is not about trying to be perfect. I'm not. I have a lot of, very bad eyesight, between other things. But it's about trial and error. And to understand what takes me till here, maybe it's good to start from the beginning. I was working in an advertising agency as a copywriter a long time ago, something like this. And I had a very old phone, very old, and Nokia. It wasn't this one, but very similar. And it died. And my boyfriend, at that time, my husband, poor guy, and gave me this phone, a smartphone, an iPhone 4. And okay, I said, okay, what I'm going to do with this? I don't need it. And then I discovered this Instagram, and I put Isabelita Virtual as a handle, and this was the beginning of something unexpected. I started taking photos like these ones, photos of, the environment, things, and I got a little bit obsessed with this imaginary, but just for fun. I still was working as a copywriter. But then I took more photos. All of them were quite imperfect, like very high resolution with a lot of limitations, 1:1 format, etc. But, and this is basically what is about my talk, I think they had kind of soul or something I feel comfortable with. And then I became the most followed anonymous person on Instagram. But for me, I never saw myself as a photographer. But then Vogue Italia, they were looking for the best photographers of the year, and they saw my photos. And long story short, I started working a lot in fashion. These are some images from the backstage in Prada, Dior, Victor and Rolf. Then I started collaborating with different brands, from tech to fashion, Manolo Blahnik or Boucheron or Tiffany's or Hermes, Apple. These are portraits for Apple for the launch of the portrait mode of, I don't remember the number of the iPhone. And then I became a little bit obsessed with followers, with being present. I had a little bit of anxiety, because I realized that when I decided to jump into another sphere, just to shift from photography, this was like a downside for my followers, for some of them. And I thought, okay, what happens if tomorrow Instagram disappears? What will be my life then? So after being a little bit worried because of these things about visibility, etc., I started trying new things with new people, collaborating with people, like from installation. This is an installation for the Design Hub in Barcelona. This is a collection of social media rings. So, yeah, the hater ring, the all day long ring, likes ring. So I started to be a little bit of critic with social media. This is nice because I shift from the smallest screens to the biggest ones in Times Square. Just wanted to inspire people to stop looking at screens and ads and look at the sunrise. And ironically, I ended up working for this guy at Meta in Paris, in the luxury vertical. And there was where I heard for the first time about AI. And I wasn't in the Llama department. They were developing the Llama model. But I started, like being familiar with AI. But it wasn't until DALL-E 2 appeared. I was a beta tester. I guess trying to understand what I could do with AI, if I can bring my vision there. But I started just, like doing things without any purpose. And then I realized that I needed a point of view, like what I want to convey to people. I didn't want to just creating stuff, beautiful stuff or weird stuff, but, like having a message. And I did this series, and basically this is about my family and two women in my family, Juan y Josefa, my mom and my aunt. This is an AI project within the past. To summarize, during the dictatorship in Spain, this was like a moral code. Women should be modest, clothing should cover the female form, and women should be discreet in public, submissive, asexual, and invisible. And I thought, okay, let's try to rethink the past using AI. And I created this series about two women, Juan y Josefa. They are facing back to the camera, so anyone can feel that they know someone in Spain that could be their mothers or grandmothers, and place it in different places in Spain, in rural zones like Almería or León or Soria, because my mom and my aunt and my grandmother as well, they are from a very small rural place in Murcia. And after doing this, just for experimenting in a very imperfect way, because everything wasn't perfect, I won the Miro Foundation Award. So for the first time, an AI work was awarded with this honor, and I had a grant for keep investigating about AI. So what I did was a research with real women from 70 to 95 years old. They were explaining their own stories. These are some of their picks. And this is the evolution of Juan y Josefa now, based in their social context, their stories, like going to bars or the grief, wearing black, etc. And I had the lack of printing something that was just in my mind in the Miro Foundation, in the atelier of the Joan Miró. And this brought me to, like more commercial stuff. This is a campaign for Versace that I did with a merged technique in 2023, like merging real photography with iconography related to the old Greece, because Versace is very into this scenario. And then it came another text to video from OpenAI. I was a beta tester again, and we were like 300 people or so, and they encouraged us to try the tool and do our things, and I did Soledad. Soledad means loneliness or solitude in Spanish, because I had this obsession with, we are in the probably in the most connected era. We are hyper-connected, but at the same time is the time where people feel more lonely. So this is Soledad. And Soledad was one of the short films selected for being in New York in the Sora Select event. It was screened in the Metrograph Theater. So it was, for me, it was like a dream to, to go to the theater for, like watching a film that I have made. And this is Soledad.
Me gusta estar aquí. Me gusta la montaña y mirar el horizonte. Me gusta andar sobre el río. El silencio habla un idioma que entiendo. Pero un día sentí un vacío, un anhelo. No era hambre ni sed. Era algo que me sonaba más adentro. Así que seguí el rastro de luces y ruidos que oía a lo lejos. Llegué allí donde había muchos. Cuerpos que se rozaban, miradas que se cruzaban sin detenerse. Veía rostros, pero no miradas. Oía palabras que no entendía. Caras que no me veían. Estaban cerca, pero lejos. No me hablaban, no me decían nada. No supe qué hacer. Y al final, cuando estaba perdida, me encontré. No era exactamente yo, pero se parecía a mí. Tal vez no era nadie, o tal vez era todo. Fuimos uno. No hablé, no hizo falta. Por primera vez me preguntó mi nombre. Le dije, me llamo Soledad.
I use AI for explaining stories because I think I have my background as a copywriter and for transmitting a kind of aesthetic that I feel comfortable with. And what happens sometimes is that in this case, I had the opportunity of taking photos in the backstages with, this super high privileged. I took photos of, like the icons of fashion, but I didn't know what to do with these photos. And when I was doing this, I also was in touch with another kind of reality related to fashion, like people that was just worried about their looks and taking selfies, and other people that were very worried about being in places where there were the celebrities. This was in Paris, in the exit of the Balmain show. So there was something in fashion that, didn't work. I thought there is a bug in the fashion system. So I had this close-ups of these fabrics, and I thought, okay, maybe I can do something that is at the same time beautiful and disgusting, which is kind of the fashion world, and I did back and couture. So I have been in places that probably I don't belong, like the haute couture, but this place I definitely don't belong, but I'm really, really happy of having the opportunity of being there in NASA, well, not in the space, but collaborating with NASA in the Psyche mission. I don't have time to explain what is Psyche mission. Basically, is about this asteroid called Psyche, and they want to go there and find the mysteries of the universe. If you need more information, don't ask me, a lot of things. And they selected 10 scientists or 10 people related with the science field and me. I don't have time for explaining why. I'm not sure, but there's the backstory. So I have the opportunity of being in Cape Canaveral, explaining to my audience what was this about. Like you can see the elevator that they can take from Earth to space, amazing. But I thought, okay, for me the most important part of NASA is not science, but it's the fiction part, science fiction. And I wanted to explain not what is happening now, but what they can find there. So I did this after going to the Cape Canaveral. Theoretical geological formations for an experimental asteroid is an exploration about what they can find there. And I love to think about what we can see, what is expecting for us as humans, but also what some people just don't want to see about society, about life, about... There are a lot of people that just don't want to look at these things, and this is about, this is the idea behind unseen, the things that we don't want, or some people don't want to see.
Seeing. That's the reason why some of our patients visit us. However, the majority of our clients come from other reason. Their eyes function perfectly, but they want to decide what to see. They want to have what we call selective vision. They want to stop seeing certain things that don't make them feel good. She, for example, doesn't want to see how she ages. Through a psychological and neurological exploration, we identify what they don't want to see. This is the most complicated part. For example, ugliness. Mr. Delacroix wants to stop seeing what he considers ugly. He finds homeless people, abstract paintings, rats, and any disability horrible. However, he finds violence very attractive. We make them disappear. The most challenging cases are from people who don't want to see inside themselves. They don't want to see their fears, their mistakes, their demons. The highest percentage of these clients are politicians, business people, and millionaires. We're not here to judge any of them.
Is the tickman reversible?
No, although only very few regret it. Some say that not seeing certain things has generated a feeling of emptiness in them, but the vast majority are much happier.
I thought, okay, can we explain this story from another point of view? What would be to see the surgical procedure, the intervention itself, for having selective vision? And this is another point of view from the same idea. Sorry, because I didn't say that it could be a little bit disgusting. But basically, what I have done during all these years is trying to express who I am, my vision. I have been doing this since forever, just using different tools. The beginning was, like as a copywriter, then I jumped into photography, then I jumped into the NFTs, now it's AI, and if tomorrow just internet collapsed, I will gonna do it using a piece of paper and a pen. Because I think the most important part is, like your vision. These are photographs for I don't know, maybe they have like 8 years ago or so. this is not AI, but at the same time, it's part of my vision, it's part of my obsession, how to see things, how to express an aesthetic and convey a message. So I'm doing more or less the same thing, but in a, I think in a better way, because I have better tools to do it, and to express this part of my identity. And now, this is where we are now. At the beginning of this year, I started working as external contractor for OpenAI, for Sora. And I had the opportunity of testing the model, Sora 2. And paradoxically, during all this time, I was Isabelita virtual, but I was myself. And now I can be more Isabelita virtual than ever.
Isabel, none of this is real.
What are you talking about?
We're not standing in New York. We're instructions in a program, lines of code making us move and talk.
I can feel the cold, the street
You
under
feel
my
it
boots.
because the system wants you to. It's all
So
generated.
I'm not real.
So I'm not real. I am real. And I try to be as real as possible, even using AI, or specifically because I can use AI. So I think my conclusion is just being as real as possible, be yourself, and keep it real. Thank you so much. Gracias.